Hi there everybody, Ollie here, aka Secret Nimbus here, with another episode of Magic Duels. So for today's episode we're back with the mid-range deck. So this was an okay opening hand. We've got Mina and Den Wildborn and an Omnath, so I was like, I'll keep it. 5 mana is not too bad. Probably start off with maybe just the Evolving Wilds, grab up a second Black Source so we can play out Languishes. And what else have we got? Kalitas as well is another one of our double black spells. Okay, finding more mana, so what, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're only one away from Omnath at this point, which is kind of crazy. Especially if we get our ramp cards as well, we'll be looking at least a couple of cards to actually allow us to trigger Omnath as well, which could be quite nice. But yeah, that's a few turns down the line. So for game number 1, we're playing the rank 37 Pac-Man. Okay, so we've got a Jaddi Offshoot on turn 1 and a Needle Spires. So let's crack our Evolving Wilds here, grab that Black Source. There we go. So yeah, we'll probably go for Hissing Quagmire this turn and then then drop the Mountain and start dropping all our tap lands. Okay, this is slightly frustrating. Keep 5 mana, your mana flood. Ugh, if I kept like a 2 mana hand, I would get mana screwed. It's just the way this game goes, I swear to God. But yeah. So at least he's only played out a Jaddi Offshoot. You know, that's something we can cope with. Double Jaddi Offshoot, again, not really that fussed. You know, I don't mind him playing out Jaddi Offshoots. They're very passive creatures. He gains some life, but, you know, we've got board sweeps, so later on they won't be that useful. Okay, so we've got ourselves Explosive Vegetation, which is quite nice. Like I said, that will allow us to then think about playing out Omnath in like 2 turns time, I think. And then we've also got mana to trigger it as well, which is pretty sweet. Just to click something off, something popped up. Don't know if you guys heard it or not. It's just like a little thing to do with our printer. It may have just flashed up. Eldrazi Displacer. Exile another target creature, then return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Interesting. So we have found the Gitrog Monster as well. So put out the Cinder Glade here. I'm going to go for Mina and Den Wildborn this turn. Reason being is that basically I want a blocker for that one. Oh yeah, we can actually play out another mana, can't we? So, or do we want to? Do we want to save them back for Omnath? Because I mean, next turn we can ramp up twice with the Explosive Vegetation. This is a tricky proposition. Do I play out a second mana? Let's just skip over combat here. We're not doing that. You know what? I'm going to play it out just because we'll keep these 2 back for Omnath, but let's just get it down. I mean, we can always think about playing the Gitrog Monster next turn in case instead of Explosive Vegetation. Which we might want to do is he's got the Sylvan Advocate down. Is he going to swing with the Eldrazi Displacer? I highly doubt it. No, he's not. I mean, we could play the Gitrog Monster, but no, I think I'd almost rather Explosive Vegetation here at this point, so we won't be swinging, because there's no point. Just skip attack, and then yeah, we're just going to Explosive Vegetation, which is going to allow us to drop Omnath next turn, which is pretty cool, so we grab a black and a green. Cool. Won't play out either of our mana, reason being is that, I said we want to keep it back for Omnath, so we can play him next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can play Omnath out next turn. I think we've got all the required. We've got red, green, green. Yeah, we got plenty of red and green mana. It's all on our tap lands and stuff like that. Okay, so he's mana screwed at 3 mana, which is excellent for us because we can just go hog wild now. So I'm going to go a bit crazy here and just swing with Mina and Den Wildborn as it's, you know, I want to see if he's going to swing or not. We're going to have 2 blockers, so I mean, if we push through 4 damage, we push through 4 damage, which is pretty much excellent. So I mean, he's got white mana, so I want to be careful about actually swinging with Omnath, and I may even... Oh yeah, okay, we're actually going to double trigger Omnath this turn, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I probably want to be reluctant with swinging with Omnath in case he has something like Celestial Flare, Gideon's Reproach, something like that, which can obviously then... So he has managed to find himself a ramp card finally, so he's on the way, although we are in a much better position than him. We've got 9 mana in play, so in theory we could find Ulamog and, you know, be able to play him within a turn or 2. Which is kind of cool. So he has managed to ramp himself up a little bit, so he's now up to 5 mana. That's quaint. I've got 11, 12 mana that I could potentially get in play. And we can also sweep his board for 3 and then swing for all of these guys. So that is definitely the play here. Gets rid of all of his creatures. And then we just swing with everything else we've got, which is not quite lethal. He's going to be a little bit short, even if we were to play out something like the Hissing Quagmire, for example. So we're just going to play out the Gitrog Monster here instead. Instead of what? I don't know. We're just going to play out the Gitrog Monster. You know, 6/6 death-touching creature, which allows us to start sacrificing these lands for bonus card draws, which is quite nice. So this has gone pretty much perfect this game. It's always nice to get a good game underway, and he has conceded. So yeah, let's move on to game number 2. Okay, for game number 2, we're playing the rank 39 Murdoch. So, yeah, this is actually quite a nice opening hand. I'm going to keep this one. So we can do Hissing Quagmire turn 1 into potentially Smoldering Marsh, and then we can start dropping other things as well. We do have the natural connection to allow us to ramp up a little bit. We do have obviously Jaddi Offshoot, so I'm going to be a little bit greedier here and drop that on turn 1 instead. Then maybe drop the Smoldering Marsh, which will allow us to play Dragonskull Summit untapped, or we could go for Hissing Quagmire. Depends on what we find, really, because I'd like to be able to play out Fiery Impulse ASAP for any kind of creatures he might have. If he's playing like a Prowess deck, we obviously want to be able to just nuke an early game creature. Nope, we just got blue and black at the moment, so maybe Fiery Impulse isn't as important. We do have the Explosive Vegetation, which is quite nice, so I'm going to go for Hissing Quagmire here in case we find ourselves a second basic land, so we can play the Smoldering Marsh untapped, because you never know. Or might have it been better to... no, it doesn't really matter. It looks like it could be quite a slow game anyway, so I'm not too fussed. Okay, so we do have some red splashed in here as well. So we've got red, blue and black. Ooh, Deathcap Cultivator is quite nice. Although, yeah, actually, I think we're going to play Deathcap Cultivator. So we'll just drop the Smoldering Marsh and the Deathcap Cultivator, which allows us to ramp up a little bit as well. We can either use it to swing or use it to ramp, depending on how we feel. Although at this point, we're probably just going to Explosive Vegetation next turn. Allows us to ramp up twice. We do have Fevered Visions come into play, so we want to start emptying out our hand a little bit more, if possible. Thankfully, we do have the Jaddi Offshoot to mitigate the Fevered Visions a little bit, which is cool. So we're going to drop you. And then I think we're just going to... yeah, we'll swing with the Deathcap Cultivator, drop him down by 2 health. And then we'll probably just play out Explosive Vegetation, which is going to allow us to ramp. And get a little bit of life back from the Jaddi Offshoot. So yeah, at the moment we're mitigating the... I think we'll grab... yeah, we'll grab a red and black. Get a basic of each... we've got one of each basic land that way. So yeah, the Fevered Visions is actually helping us out at the moment. So we've got ourselves a board wipe, a second board wipe. We do have the Chandra's Ignition, but it's a bit of a dead. So he has managed to find himself Ob Nixilis, so he has +1'd it, which is okay for us, because I was worried that what's what I'm looking for? He would just use it to just nuke down the Deathcap Cultivator. So if we can find... wow, these are really trash at the moment. All 3 of our Fiery Impulses. That's not particularly good. At this point, what I want to do is... do I Chandra's Ignition now? No. I was thinking, like, I think what we're going to do is Hissing Quagmire. Get you into play. What? Oh my god, game! Why? Oh, is that because it's my only green? Nope, that is really stupid. I basically played it and it's come in tapped, which is ridiculous. I don't believe that. Like, it shouldn't have done that, but for some reason it decided to tap itself down to put it in play because I wasn't paying attention to where the mana was going. So, yeah, that is really quite silly. I'm a little bit annoyed by that. So again, Fevered Visions has drawn us a pretty trash card. At least got 3 Fiery Impulses to, you know, kill any creatures he might have. Yeah, I don't believe it did that. I do not believe it did that. Tap down the blooming Hissing Quagmire. It does have the Radiant Flames, okay, so these 2 are just going to get swept away. So at the moment he's playing quite a control-ish deck, which kind of works out for us as we're playing quite a slow deck ourselves. So we no longer have the life gain from the Jaddi Offshoot, unfortunately, so we're just going to natural connect here. We'll grab a green source, I think. Can't play you out this turn for definite. You would definitely come tap down now as I've played out all my green sources, unfortunately. And he's just going to tell in time as we draw another card. So how much mana we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're getting pretty close to being able to drop Ulamog. Explosive Vegetation will definitely help get us to that magical 10 mana. So that's good. And he's got second Fevered Visions, okay, so that's pretty crazy for us. So we could really do with finding Ulamog fairly pronto. So he's going to draw 2 cards here. He's going to overdraw, surely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he's going to discard a card. So he got rid of a Hissing Quagmire. Wow, we've got some really trash tier draws right now. And he's just going to Broken Concentrate our... what's the one I'm looking for? So, to play out the Hissing Quagmire, yes, I would like those 3 to, you know, come in tapped, and then we're just going to swing with you at Ob Nixilis. There we go. Much better. And then we're going to draw 2 cards and lose 4 life. There's Ulamog. That's nice. So, 1, 2... Okay, so we just want to get rid of these Fiery Impulses as a trash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we can actually, even if he counters Ulamog, we can basically get rid of both of those Fevered Visions, and that's the only 2 copies he has in the deck, because basically we don't have to actually have him resolve, and he can't counter now anyway. So at this point, do I just want to get rid of Sorin and Ob Nixilis and then keep the Ulamog? I think that might almost be the better play, because even if he were to somehow bounce that back, so I feel as though with Ulamog, I should be able to mill him down faster than he can actually take my life away with the 4 health per turn. Okay, so play the Rootbound Crag. So yeah, we're just going to Ulamog, get rid of you, and actually we'll keep Ob Nixilis because basically he can't destroy Ulamog with his -3 ability anyway. So I'll keep one of the Fevered Visions around and get rid of Sorin. So we're going to lose 2 health a turn now. We've found ourselves a second threat in the Gitrog Monster, which is good. Okay, that's one way of getting rid of Ulamog. His deck, I completely hadn't thought about Declaration of Stone, and now he's got a Chandra as well. So at this point, we may be looking in a little bit of trouble, although we do have the Gitrog Monster, so although we are about to take 6 damage here from these two tokens. But I say we should be able to drop Gitrog Monster and Chandra's Ignition this turn. So yeah, we're going to go for the double play here. So we'll play out the Cinder Glade, we'll play out Gitrog Monster. He can't counter anything because he's got not got enough mana open. So yeah, we're just going to Chandra's Ignite you, and then actually kill Chandra with her own Ignition. So we can either Fiery Impulse something this turn, or we can... So we are going to lose 2 health, unfortunately, as we've got way too many cards in hand. So he's going to destroy that. Okay, so we're just going to sacrifice the clue then. See if we find something good, which we did not. So Ob Nixilis is a little bit annoying. And we've just got Jace, so maybe we should have waited there to have pinged him, but although we can just ping him this turn. So I do need to empty out my hand a little bit. Read the Bones would be nice, except the fact that... so he's going to kill you, and then also Natural Connect as well. Okay, so he's going to Scatter to the Winds, which is good. So it allows me to actually empty out my hand again. Ooh, okay, so we do have the Radiant. So what I'm going to do here is actually be really wasteful and just Radiant, play out you, then Radiant Flames, just to empty out my hand, like, completely. Then we're going to Hissing Quagmire, and then just kill Ob Nixilis. Then we can also Natural Connect as well. This is really wasteful of me, but I just had to do it to stop myself taking any more damage from the Fevered Visions. And then we're just going to natural connect as well. Just empties out our hand a ton. We'll leave the 1 green mana in there to trigger Nissa if we find her. Okay, another natural connection. That's a pretty trashed it. Yeah, this is one of those cards where I wish that if I had a bit more time to playtest this deck, I would not have included this. I think the Explosive Vegetations are more than enough. Okay, so I think we're about to bite the bullet here. Yeah, we're about to just have our ass handed to us by the 2 mana. Unless he forgets to switch that up. So unfortunately this one's a loss. It was a fun match, so we almost did it with Ulamog, but unfortunately the doubled Fevered Visions was pretty brutal. So let's move on to game number 3. Okay, for game number 3 we're playing the rank 30 Moonman 0. So we're still sat at rank 32. I mean, I've had a pretty consistent season this time around. Last season I barely broke into I think I managed to break into the top 30 once, and that was I really struggled in last season's meta, especially with the Monvuli Acid Moss meta. It was difficult to get any kind of traction. This one I've been pretty much consistently in the top 30 since I reached it, so been pretty happy with my performance this time around. Also helps I think I pretty much unlocked. I did unlock all of Shadows over Innistrad on day 1 and opened a fair amount of Oath of the Gatewatch. Okay, so we want to go for, let's just go for a black mana this turn. So we've got the Fiery Impulse open to ping a creature. We could do one of our ramp cards to make the Gitrog Monster a little bit more viable. Just because I'd rather not play him out with just 6 mana. Okay, we do have Deathcap Cultivator, so I will be playing you out. Yep, leave the red mana open for the Fiery Impulse. Thank you very much. So this has essentially ramped us up by 1, so we're up to 4 mana sources, which is good. We've got 4 mana in play, I should say, if we tap down Deathcap Cultivator. 3 lands and 1 additional mana. Okay, so we've got Hinterland Harbour come down, so we've got Simic at the moment. And a Blister Pod, so that's not something I really want to Fiery Impulse. Okay, so we do have Radiant Flames, which is quite nice. So drop the Forest. I mean, I can actually play out the Gitrog Monster this turn, and then I can play out the double mana next turn, so it could be pretty good. What's he gonna do? He can't counter that with 1 mana open. Nice thing about the Deathcap Cultivator is it's ramped us up by 1, so we can actually play out the Gitrog Monster this turn. So I probably want to sacrifice one of these forests, potentially. I think this guy's just being a troll, just winding down the time. Yeah, he's just being a bit of a troll. Unless he was reading... Oh, I can actually play out an additional mana this turn, can't I? Yeah, why not? Which will actually allow us to Fiery Impulse any bigger threats, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I forgot because the Gitrog Monster comes down, I can play 2 mana on the turn that I play it, which is kind of cool. So I really want to leave this alive just because I don't really want him getting up to that 4th mana by having it like in the graveyard. If he swings with it, I will block it and then just nuke it with the token with the Fiery Impulse. And he's just decided to leave the game. Okay, interesting. That must mean that he's mana screwed. So I think we'll move on to game number 4. Okay guys, for game number 4 we're playing the rank 19 Alex 7. Haven't played somebody that low ranked in a while. This is quite a nice opening hand actually. Got the Oblivion Sower as a nice threat, got some decent amount of mana, got some ramp as well, which is also good. So yeah, in that last game, that guy clearly did not enjoy the idea of a turn 4 Gitrog Monster and then potential mana screw as well. So if he couldn't play any of his kind of like responses to it, and was like facing down a 6/6, kind of swinging at his face, getting me some good card advantage, then I can kind of understand why he decided to rage quit a little bit. So we're just going to pop the Evolving Wilds. I think we're going to grab a green source for now. We can grab black sources with the Natural Connection and the Explosive Vegetation. So, okay, so I think we'll just drop another Evolving Wilds. If that's the case, I will grab the Swamp this time around, just because I've already got the Mountain in hand. So if this was Monvuli Acid Moss like meta, then this would be a bit more problematic. Okay, so he has managed to get down a Handware Militia Captain. It's a pretty ballsy turn to play, although he doesn't know that I have any kind of removal. I mean, I don't have any in hand, But you never know, I could top deck, say for example, a Fiery Impulse this turn, or even a... we'll have a Deathcap Cultivator, so I'm actually going to play you out, just because it gives me a way of blocking this, and I would quite happily just throw away my Deathcap Cultivator to kill a Hanway Militia Captain. Especially with an Explosive Vegetation coming down next turn, which is going to allow me to get Oblivion Sower down the turn afterwards. I would quite happily throw away a Deathcap Cultivator to kill this creature. So what we really want right now is something like a Languish or a... okay, we're just going to get double Explosive Vegetation, you know, as you do. So we won't be swinging with our Deathcap Cultivator. We'll save it back to block Hanway Militia Captain. And we're just going to Explosive Vegetation. Ramp up for 2. Black and red. Awesome. So we're already up to 6 mana, so we are going to be dropping Oblivion Sower down next turn. Unless we find a better threat, Oblivion Sower will be quite nice. So he's played out a Slayer's Plate. This gives a creature +4/+2. When a creature dies, he gets to put a token into play. I was going to say, you don't want to play that one. As I said, I will quite happily throw away a Deathcap Cultivator to kill that particular card. So we could really do one of our board clears just to get rid of these 2 creatures. Not to be though, so we will just play out Evolving Wilds. We won't swing with you. Like I said, we want to save it back as a blocker. I'm just going to play out Oblivion Sower. Yes, I would like to put this mana in play. We just get the 1 bonus mana. So he's played out managed to get rid of a Bygone Bishop, an Always Watching, and a Lantern Scout, which is quite nice. So pretty good exile pile there we managed to get rid of, especially the Bygone Bishop and the Always Watching in particular. Does get us a nice 5/8 in play as well. See, I would almost quite happily accept a Declaration in Stone on this just to get us the additional card draw. So he has played out Kythian and Angelic Purge. So yeah, I was expecting some kind of exile, although I would have preferred the Declaration in Stone. So we will have to sacrifice Hermit of the Natanols. Interesting choice. So we will just pop the Evolving Wilds again. Thin down our deck. We'll grab a green source this time. We've almost thinned out our deck almost completely already. So we do have the Fiery Impulse, which is quite nice. So I think we're just going to Explosive Vegetation this turn. Like I said, just keep thinning down our deck. So we'll grab a green and a red source. Then we'll just hold open Fiery Impulse. So skip attack. Threaten the Hanway Militia Captain, or we do have a way of Fiery Impulsing it anyway, so it's kind of nice. So he's played out Knight of the White Orchid. Maybe we want to nuke that one. I mean, he's going to be able to get an additional mana in play from it, because we've got way more mana than he does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 mana in play already. So we've almost got half our mana in play through a third of our deck, so we are just going to Fiery Impulse you now. Just because. So I would almost love something like a Read the Bones just to get us like a couple of cards. And all we're going to get is mana, isn't it? Of course it is. So just going to skip attack for now. So we are in a bit of a bad way. We've thinned down our deck. You know, we've got rid of a lot of mana here, and now we really need some kind of card draw. Like I said, we need to Read the Bones. We need a Ob Nixilis would be nice. So he's just swinging with everything here. I won't block any of these because I can't afford to, basically. And we really need like a Languish or a Radiant Flames would be nice. So we've got like a 1 in 10 chance of actually finding the correct response to any of this. Kythian will flip. I mean, he was going to flip anyway because I couldn't actually block. Okay, and we've also got Mirror Shepherd. So at this point, I just need Languish. We've got like a 1 in 20 chance of getting the card that we need right now. Wonder what he was going to decide to do there. So what does that do? Do you +1 it? Yeah, so he's made that indestructible. Oh, that's... Well, actually... Oh, come on! Yeah, this is why Natural Connection is trash. So... Yeah, I think we're just gonna lose this one just to the fact that we've just not drawn any of our decent cards. Which is kind of my fault for making a really, really trash tier deck in the first place. But, well, it's not trash tier. It just needs to basically have these natural connections removed. But I'm not in the habit of removing... Wow, that is pretty terrifying. I don't think we've got anywhere dealing with that apart from Ob Nixilis. I'm surprised he doesn't swing with the Constant Lieutenant. Oh yeah, we're just dead, so it doesn't actually matter anyway. Okay, fantastic. So not the best way to finish off with this deck, but I do know now that Natural Connection wasn't the best inclusion in this deck. But like I said, I didn't get time to playtest it, unfortunately, as much as I wanted to. But hopefully we won't have that problem for next week's deck. Okay, so that is the end of the episode for now. We're almost up to enough gold to buy the entirety of Eldritch Moon with a month to spare, which is awesome. But yeah, so for next week's deck, what I've started to put together is a token deck. So it's going to be a Naya token deck, so I'm quite looking forward to playing that. But we shall see that on Friday. So as always, guys, don't forget to comment and like if you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.